Hello and welcome. This is TVC News at 7. I am Precious Amayu. Let's begin tonight from the United States, where President Donald Trump's executive order on the $100,000 annual fee for applicants to the H-1B visa program for skilled foreign workers is generating reactions. Now, India says President Trump's administration's move is likely to have humanitarian consequences, warning of potential disruptions for families affected by the policy. President Trump's order mentions abuse of the program as the reason. The order also restricts entry until payment is made. Critics have long argued that the H-1B undercuts the American workforce, while supporters, including billionaire Elon Musk, argue that it will allow the U.S. to attract top talent from around the world. In another order, the U.S. president set up a new gold card to fast-track visas for certain immigrants in exchange for fees starting from £1 million. President Trump's order is due to come into force on the 21st of September. Now, until now, H-1B visas have carried various administrative fees, totaling about $1,500. Let's get back to that increased visa fee for H-1B visa by the Trump administration. We're joined now by the CEO, Africa Economic Summit Group, Dr. Brian Rubin. He joins me virtually for this conversation. Good to have you join us, Dr. Brian.
Thank you so much, Precious. Thank you for having me.
We've seen a lot of immigration policy being reworked by the Trump administration, but this one seems to be the highest or the most high-profile one in terms of temporary employment visas. Just talk to us about the implication of this for skilled workers and the tech industry.
Yeah, the implication is huge, and this is really high stake. I call it a high stake gamble. But let's just get things clear. The new U.S. visa fee is really about a global challenge. It is about how to protect local workers while still attracting the best talent. And as you know, for years, the H-1B program has been a double-edged sword, really, enabling thousands of top engineers, doctors, scientists, and all of that to drive innovation in America. But it has also been misused by outsourcing firms, lowering wages, So the $100,000 fee is a dramatic step to filter out lower wage placements and retain only the highest value talents. But it also introduces uncertainty for businesses, for universities, and the aspiring professionals worldwide, including, of course, Nigerians and Africans. So the real conversation should be about smarter, more balanced policies that safeguard domestic jobs while keeping pathways open for more genuine high-skill migration. Because in today's economy, talent mobility and national prosperity have to go hand in hand. So
Dr. Rubin, if I may quickly come in, because I know you've talked about how it's been abused over the years. I also just want to take a statement by the U.S. Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, and I want to quote him now. He says, if you are going to train somebody, you are going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land. Train Americans. Stop bringing people to take our jobs, end quote. It's that what it has been over the years? Are skilled workers from different countries or foreign countries really taking American jobs?
Well, so if you look at the records, you see situations where a company, brings in, let's say, 2,000 people with a H-1B and then lays off 4,000 people, 4,000 local employees. So there has been that, and like I said, it's been a double-edged sword through the years, right? Some of the, high-tech, companies in America, most of them have been started by people that actually came in through this class of visa. So it's been a double-edged sword. But that's not to say that it has not been abused through the years. So Trump has been a vocal proponent of America First and about preserving American jobs, protecting American borders and all of that. And again, that's what we are seeing. These have been the best way to do it. That's open for debate. I don't really think so. But this is what Trump is thinking about, and this is what America is thinking about. Remember, this is not an outright ban. What I'm trying to do is...
Well, it might not seem, Dr. Ruben, apologies for interrupting you, it might not seem like an outright ban. For example, if I was to look at the equivalent of $100,000 in Nigeria, that would be 150 million naira. If I have 150 million naira, why would I need a H-1B visa? So it's almost like a deterrent. Elon Musk himself, who has contributed so much to the U.S. economy now, also held H-1B visa at some point. But my question really is, would it have any impact if countries like China and India, where you have a large number of these skilled workers coming from, decide to retaliate?
Oh, yes, it has geopolitical impact. India, like you just mentioned, as you know, is the biggest stakeholder. About 70% of H-1Bs, right, really come from India, is about from India. So there's going to be diplomatic pressure from New Delhi. Of course, India is already reacting, right? And other countries that benefit as well are going to react. And we can see talent and investment shifts to other places as well. So it should also motivate African nations to strengthen their own talent hubs, which can, of course, attract, bring in investment. So there's going to be a retaliation because, like you mentioned, that's a huge amount of money. What they're trying to do is to increase the barrier to entry so that it is increasingly more difficult for people to come in through this class of visa. And Trump's general position is they want to protect American jobs, right, for Americans. And if you're going to bring in somebody, it has to be that the person is really, really, really worth it so that you're willing to do $100,000.
Again, the biggest challenge here, and I want to bring it down to Africa, I don't know how much we're going to be sort of affected by this. A lot of people who work in tech around here work, from home and not necessarily, traveling to the U.S. But I also wanted to ask how this will impact Africa and what Africa should be, how should we rethink the tech space and just building our own environment here to ensure that we retain talent and actually lose them?
Okay, so we're looking at a mixed situation here. There's going to be fewer U.S. opportunities in the short term, but also more talent retention. If we approach it, proactively, there's going to be more talent retention and possibly more local innovation and investment, long term, really. But the key is when situations change this way, the key is to sit down and, rethink your approach, because this is really going to make, increase the barriers to entry for holders of this class of visas, and it's going to make it unattractive for companies to want to bring in talents, with this class of visa. So for Africa, well, it's an opportunity to rethink how we do things. We should be able to actually retain more talent. That's also how to bring in, investment into the continent, really. If we retain more of our talents and build Africa by ourselves, we shouldn't be having all of these kind of challenges with America increasing or lowering barriers to entry in the first instance. If things are working out right, that shouldn't have been the case. But we are here because there seems to be more attractive opportunities in Europe and America. So when the situation is shifting, it is a call for African leaders to rethink their leadership, to rethink governance, and build a society where our people will be willing to stay in, find opportunities, and actually deploy those skills that want to invest in American companies in Africa. That's actually how you can shift the balance of power. So this can be a good opportunity for Africa if we approach it right.
Well, we'll see how this plays out. The tech giants, the CEOs, contributed so much to Trump's campaign, and they're already reacting to this. Thank you so much for your time, as always. CEO, Africa Economic Summit Group, Dr. Brian Ruben.
Thank you.